Hello everyone and welcome to Quantum Universum. At this point in our journey with Tafti the Priestess, we've learned to see reality for what it is. A moving dream, a film we can intervene in only when we awaken to our presence. In the previous chapter, we made our first real foray into reality, but now comes the most important challenge of all, keeping attention alive. Monitoring one's attention means guarding power, no longer being dragged along, but staying centered in the heart of consciousness. If this is your first time watching this video, I recommend viewing the previous chapters. You'll find them all collected in the playlist dedicated to Tafti the Priestess here on the channel. Each episode is a fundamental step to understand and practice this powerful path of awakening. Now let's enter Chapter 5, Monitoring Attention. Here we begin to become the true guardians of our film. As always, I will read you the fundamental parts of the book and immediately provide the explanation. Original text: in sleep and in the happening reality, you do approximately the same thing. You watch a film and take part in it as characters who have a role and do not have the right to behave at their discretion. Explanation: both in nighttime dreams and in daily life, the mechanism is the same. You are inside a film and play a role, but that role wasn't consciously chosen, it's imposed by an invisible script. And as long as you're identified with that role, you can't behave freely. You're inside a written part, and you don't even know you're acting it. Original text: if you still continue to doubt that you act in a non-autonomous but coercive way, take a look at your attention. Where was it just now? To whom did it belong? Explanation: here Tafti provokes you. Do you think you're free? Then observe your attention. Where was it a moment ago? Who was deciding what you were focusing on? If it wasn't you, who was it? Original text: have you convinced yourself that it didn't belong to you? Then to whom or to what? Precisely to this same script. Explanation: the truth, naked and direct, is this: if you don't govern attention, someone else does. And that someone else is the invisible script, automatism, the flow of events, conditioning. Where your attention goes, your life goes. Original text: you, or more precisely, your I, is your attention. Explanation: this sentence is revolutionary. You are your attention. You are not what you think. You are not even what you feel. You are where your consciousness is. And if the attention is not yours, you're not the one living. Original text: if you don't control yourself, the script drags you. Whether this happens in the dream or in the daily reality, it doesn't matter. Explanation: controlling attention is controlling oneself. When you don't do it, reality drags you like a river that decides for you. There's no difference between dream and wakefulness. If you're not present, you're dragged anyway. Original text: the dream is the same as reality, and reality is the same dream. Explanation: here Tafti reiterates it clearly. There's no separation between the two dimensions. Ordinary reality is a waking dream, and the dream is just another layer of the same cosmic film. All that changes is your degree of awareness. Original text: we can say that the happening reality is a waking dream, while the ordinary dream is a dream in sleep. Explanation: this is the simplest and most precise definition. The nighttime dream is the dream in sleep. Daily reality is the waking dream. The point is, are you present while dreaming? Are you aware while living? Only then can you exit the script and start creating. Original text: a dream can be conscious or unconscious. Explanation: simple, direct, disarming. It's not the fact that reality is a dream that makes the difference, but the way you live it, with awareness or at the mercy of events. It's the quality of your consciousness that determines everything. Original text: in the unconscious dream, one is stupid and powerless like rabbits. Explanation: here Tafti uses a strong image to shake us. In the unconscious dream, that is, in life lived automatically, you're like a rabbit, scared, reactive, without control, without direction, without choice. It's not an insult. It's a call to wake up. We live like prey when we forget to be conscious. Original text, but it will be enough to take control of attention to reanimate oneself in the film, acquiring the ability to act on one's own initiative at one's discretion. Explanation. The key isn't complicated, it's accessible to everyone. Regain attention. When you do it, it's like reanimating yourself, coming back to life inside the film. You're no longer an object that reacts, but a subject that chooses. You have freedom, discernment, initiative. Awareness isn't something to achieve, it's something to remember. Original text. In this way, you become lucid characters, capable of understanding and willing, and now you can freely walk in the dream. Explanation. When you take control of your attention, you become a lucid character. You know you're dreaming, you know who you are, you know you can choose. And from then on, you're no longer a slave to the script. You walk in the dream with freedom. You're no longer reactive but present and creative. And original text. It must be said that possessing such an ability in the happening reality is much more important because the scenes of sleep, although they have a real film in the archive of eternity, are still virtual. Explanation. Here Tafti makes a subtle but fundamental distinction. Nighttime dreams exist on an energetic level, are part of the archive of eternity, but remain virtual, that is, they have no direct impact in the physical world. On the contrary, daily reality is where your actions produce tangible consequences, and that's why waking up here is even more important. Original text. While life is real and living in it, you either find yourself chafing within the limits of a script set up by others, or you realize your own. Explanation. In real life, you can choose whether to be a character written by others or write your own script. The difference lies in awareness. If you're present, you can exit the imposed limits and start living your version of the film. Otherwise, you'll chafe within roles and situations you haven't chosen. Original text. The only thing that can prevent you is your habit of sinking into the external and internal screen. Explanation. What really prevents you from living as an awake consciousness? Only one thing. Habit. You're used to getting lost in thoughts or being dragged by external stimuli. And every time this happens, you lose yourself. The most powerful spiritual practice is precisely this, interrupting automatism and bringing attention back to the center. Original text. Your attention cannot resist long in the center of awareness. Explanation. And here's the challenge. Your attention slips away. Even if you center yourself, even if you wake up, the mind and the world call you back, distract you. This is normal. That's why monitoring attention is an art, a daily, patient, and profound practice. Original text. You should develop a new habit, that of bringing attention back to the center. Explanation. Spiritual transformation isn't the result of a miracle, but of a new daily habit, that of recalling consciousness to the center over and over again, every time you realize you've lost yourself. It's a subtle discipline made of inner micro-awakenings. Original text. Going for a walk in the dream, set yourself the intention not to forget that you must wake up. Explanation. Every time you go out, every time you move in reality, set yourself the clear intention to stay awake. Remember, you're in a dream, and you must not forget it. This intention creates a sort of active memory of presence. Original text. Set this goal literally, otherwise you'll forget what you have to do. It will simply fly out of your head. Explanation. If you don't give yourself a conscious direction, reality will absorb you. It's not guilt, it's mechanics. The world, thoughts, situations make you forget who you are. Only if you remember to remember can you stay lucid. It takes a living, concrete, active intention. Original text. If you're lazy and forget it, you won't learn anything. Explanation. Tafti is direct here. Transformation requires inner discipline. If you abandon yourself to inertia, if you don't cultivate presence, nothing changes. Awakening is a spiritual training that must be lived in everyday reality. Original text. During the walk, you'll have to catch yourself in the act of constantly tending to sink into sleep. Explanation. This is normal. It doesn't mean failing, it means training. The tendency to get lost in thoughts, situations, emotions is strong. But right there is the opportunity to wake up. Every time you realize you've lost yourself, you've just taken a step forward. Original text. Organize an operation to monitor your own attention, that is, put yourself under surveillance. Explanation. Here's the central practice of the chapter. Become your own observer, as if there were a part of you, deeper, watching over attention. This surveillance isn't stress. It's not rigidity. It's conscious care. It's silent presence. Original text. It's not necessary to try to keep attention on the center all the time and uninterruptedly. Explanation. Here, Tafti gives us a great truth. It's not necessary to stay centered without ever getting distracted. That's an illusion. It's normal to fall. What matters is the ability to return every time you realize you've lost yourself. Original text. Another thing matters and has value, your ability to react to what's happening. Explanation. The point isn't never to get lost, but to wake up every time something takes you away. True awareness is measured by how promptly you return to yourself, not by the illusion of always staying perfectly present. Original text. Usually any event, even the smallest, leads you to immerse yourself in the external film or to take refuge in inner rumination. Explanation. This is the dynamic of inner sleep. Every external stimulus, a phrase, a look, an event, or internal, a thought, an emotion, has the power to take you away. It's a very deep automatism, but by observing it, you can break it. Original text. Whatever the circumstance, it induces you to fall asleep. Explanation. Reality itself, if not lived with attention, becomes hypnosis. It doesn't matter whether the situation is pleasant or difficult, everything can become a sleeping pill for consciousness if you're not actively monitoring your attention. Original text. Now instead you must acquire an opposite habit, not to fall asleep because of what is happening, but to wake up. Explanation. Until now, external events and internal thoughts lulled you to sleep. Now Tafti invites you to reverse the reflex. Every time something happens, it should not drag you away, but call you back to center. This is an inner revolution, transforming the world's stimuli into awakenings. Original text. Any event, even the slightest breath of the surrounding space, should alert you. It's a wake-up signal. Explanation. You don't need big shocks to wake up. In fact, the more subtle the signal, the deeper the awareness. A sound, a glance, a shift in the air, anything can become your wake-up call. A slight breath of space becomes the universe's whisper, reminding you of who you are. Original text. Likewise, every action of yours should remind you to keep attention under control. Explanation. Not just external events, your own actions must become instruments of awakening. Every daily gesture, walking, drinking, speaking, can become a practice of conscious attention. Every movement is a chance to remember that you are here, alive, present. Original text. You have two activators at your disposal. One external, something happens and you wake up. One internal, before doing anything, you wake up. Explanation. Tafti offers two powerful tools here. External activator, something happens, wake up. Internal activator, before doing something, wake up. These two triggers can become constant bells of presence, transforming every moment into a threshold of consciousness. Original text. Here are some examples of external activators. You meet someone talks to you, something happens near you. It doesn't matter what. A sound, a movement, anything that used to attract and involve you. Explanation. Everything that normally captures your attention can now be transformed into a signal to come back to center. A meeting, a phrase, a sound. They are no longer distractions, but opportunities for clarity. Tafti teaches us not to escape reality, but to turn it into an ally of consciousness. Original text. Well, as soon as something happens, immediately direct your attention to the event, but without losing control over it, keeping it at the center. Explanation. When something happens, it's natural for your attention to go there. Tafti doesn't tell you to ignore it. Instead, observe it, respond to it, but stay grounded. Don't get swept away. Be present in the event and in yourself. This is the true art, being in the world without losing yourself to the world. Original text. Here are some examples of internal activators. You are going somewhere, doing something, speaking with someone. Before undertaking any action, place your attention on the center. Explanation. After the external activators, Tafti guides us to the second tool, the internal activator. Every time you're about to do something, leave the house, make a call, speak, pause for a moment, breathe, reconnect, set your attention in the center. That's where awakening begins, just before you move. Original text. Do it just before, because after it would already be too late. You would just realize that at first you fell asleep, then woke up and noticed that you had been sleeping. Explanation. If you wait until after, you'll only notice that you were unconscious. Awareness comes late, like a delayed echo. So catch yourself before. This is the true training, awakening at the precise moment when intention becomes action. Original text. All of this can only be learned through multiple repetitions, like in martial arts. There is no other way. Explanation. This is not a theory to understand, but a path to train. Like a martial art, it requires discipline, consistency, and daily practice. Your life becomes your dojo, your practice field, and over time, this vigilance becomes second nature. Original text. On the other hand, once you've learned to control your attention, you will also be able to manage your mediocre life. Explanation. Tafti is blunt, but honest. We all want to transform our lives, yet most of us can't even manage a single thought. Here's the truth. If you can't control your attention, you can't control your reality. But when you do, everything starts to shift. Managing your attention is the first act of mastering your destiny. In this chapter, Tafti teaches us that attention is everything. There is no awakening, no transformation, no freedom without mastering your attention. We've learned that reality and dreams are made of the same material. They are both films projected before our eyes. Our attention is what either anchors us or frees us. Every time we lose attention, we lose ourselves and fall under the power of the external script. Tafti offers us two tools for presence. External activators. What happens outside us becomes a signal to wake up. Internal activators. Before we act, we pause and center ourselves. The real spiritual training is to place our attention under conscious surveillance, not with tension, but with loving consistency, like a sacred martial art. Awakening is not a permanent state, it is a continual return to ourselves, moment after moment. When we learn to manage attention, we begin to direct our life with clarity and power, escaping the mediocrity of automatism and becoming the creators of our own film. Watching attention is the first true act of spiritual mastery. It's not an abstract concept, but a concrete practice you can apply to every step, every gesture, every word. In the next chapter, titled Setting Reality, Tafti will show us how to begin directing the film of our life. It's no longer just about observing or monitoring, but about setting, creating, and consciously commanding reality. If you wish to continue this journey of awakening, subscribe to the channel, activate the notification bell, and walk with me one step at a time into the reality you're learning to direct. And as always, thank you for being with me today. I'll see you soon in the next video.